Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Customs Frontline, a Hong Kong action movie from 2024 that stars Nicholas Tse and Jacky Cheung. It was directed by Herman Yau. Hong Kong Customs and Excise Department officer Chow Ching-lai, played by Nicholas Tse, is a principled man who can also be difficult to work with. Luckily, with the guidance of his superior and mentor, Cheung Wan-nam, played by Jacky Cheung, Ching-lai is able to find success in his career. During a patrol, these guys and the rest of their team encounter an unmanned cargo ship that is hiding a batch of lethal weaponry. Upon investigation, they are suspected to be missing weapons that were stolen in Thailand. So early on, we see some nefarious dealings between different underworld organizations and some national military units. They're exchanging national resources for high-grade weaponry, and that is needed to fight an impending war. Unfortunately for the bad guys, the transport ship gets hit hard by a typhoon at sea, which results in its unmanned state. And tempers flare when the villains make their moves, prompting the protagonists to take them down. Now, Nicholas Tse not only stars in Customs Frontline, but he's also the action choreographer. Now, I went on the internet, and this appears to be his first official job as action choreographer, which is a little bit surprising. This guy's been around for a while now. Although he does have another film lined up as action choreographer that's currently, I believe, in post-production. A film called The Unleashed Blaze, starring Andy Lau. In any case, I think Tse does a good job with the action design in Customs Frontline. There's an interesting little fight on an inflatable speedboat with a focus on using structural aspects of the boat, such as like the rope lining, the loss of inflation due to damage, and the rotating motor. It's pretty good. There's a nice shootout when the bad guys go on the offensive to get their weapons back from the customs authorities. They attempt to steal the large cargo container itself, which is not easy, so they attempt to hold off the cops during the operation. The gunplay has an intensity to it, even though there is some CGI incorporated, but it is fun enough. There's an airstrike scene where two of our protagonists need to survive bombs being dropped. Decently effective, and I liked the yellow color scheme of that scene with all the sand in the buildings. It is short-lived, however. There's a very good car chase that takes place on a highway and through a tunnel, but it's less focused on the speed of the cars. It's more of like a straightaway crash fest, with the cars constantly like smashing into each other, while both the good guys and the bad guys try to take control of one vehicle that's like in the center of everything. That one ends with a shootout. And then the finale is quite lengthy and rather explosive, involving the protagonists who go on an offensive on a cargo ship at night. Some nice gunplay and explosions. The main villain finally does get a few nice moments. And Nicholas Tse has a few sweet athletic moves on top of these huge pipes in the ship. And he also gets a surprisingly good one versus many fight against a bunch of dudes who are armed with like pipes. So I found the action in this movie to be satisfying. In terms of criticisms, there are a few problems to point out here. Alright, Jacky Cheung's psychological subplot is fine, but nothing that great. It ends off in kind of like a melodramatic note that I really didn't care. Francis Ng has a special appearance, but he gets almost no screen time in this and really doesn't do very much. Karina Lam has a supporting role. Her character and romantic subplot are rather dull and unnecessary. They could have edited the film down and simply focused on her impact involving the main conflict, because she does work with Jacky Cheung and his team. The drama in this film does slow down too much at times. It does create some pacing issues, especially during like the middle act. I think they could have reduced the runtime down from, say, 1 hour 55 minutes down to something like 1 hour and 40 minutes. I think would have been a sweet spot here. Also, the acting from the international cast, pretty flat and unimpressive to say the least. But despite some of these flaws, I did enjoy Customs Frontline. I think it's worth a watch. And just be prepared for that slow act 2. It's currently streaming on Amazon. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.